Wow. Know what it is? D47 all day for real, just like every other video, revisiting as much rugby league information as possible. This time the 1974 wooden spoon in Australian Rugby League going to Balmain Tigers, and so you're not missing any crucial information watching this video all the way through to the end as per always. Now, wow, I can't believe it. I'm absolutely lost for words. I'm completely, 100%, utterly, bewilderingly, totally lost for words. This wooden spoon here, beyond bewildering, the most bewildering sequence of rugby league events I've ever seen in all these years of doing these videos and researching. So obviously, my favourite wooden spoon so far, Balmain's 1974 wooden spoon, just because of the way it unfolded. Wow, this is going to be a very, very long video because there's so much to dissect and divulge, but we're going to get through it. So, where do we even begin? I always do a moment in the sun and most embarrassing moment for every wooden spoon team, but this time we've got to include two new segments. We've got to include a bewildering moment and a beyond bewildering moment in the same season. I've never done either of those two before, but we're going to this time. So, we'll begin. Balmain in 1974 played the usual 22 games and they managed 4 wins, 16 losses and 2 draws. That's a total of 10 competition points. Whereas Parramatta, who finished second last, they managed 5 wins, 17 losses, also 10 competition points. Parramatta's for and against at the end of the season was minus 217 points, whereas Balmain's was minus 226. Balmain only got the 1974 wooden spoon by a meagre 9 competition points. And if that's not insane enough, if that's not bewildering enough, just wait until like 6 or 7 minutes from now, at the end of the video, when I explain exactly how that unfolded in the last 2 rounds of the season. Well, so, do the stats first like we always do. Like I said, 4 wins, 16 losses and 2 draws from the 22 games, 10 competition points. Balmain's attack, they scored 255 points, conceded 481, for and against minus 226. That's normal. That's normal so far. The leading point scorer, his name was Jim Fiddler, and he got 1 try, 40 goals, a total of 83 points for Balmain in 1974. That 1 try was a 3-point try, as they were at the time. And then 2 players were the equal top try scorer. Trevor Forward and also Frank Reagan both got 6 tries for Balmain in 1974. That part of it's normal. That part of it right there that I've just said, that's what you do expect from the wooden spoon team, but yeah, nothing else. Nothing else that happened in Balmain's 1974 wooden spoon is in fact normal. So, we get in to just go through it all, one step at a time. We then get into the most embarrassing moment, the fact that they lost the first 8 consecutive games, but even there, something absolutely you will never expect from a wooden spoon team. Round one, the very first game of the season, Balmain were slaughtered by Western Suburbs 62 points to 5, believe that or not. And West somehow raced in 14 tries in the one game. And like I said, at the time tries were 3 points. With 4-point tries, that would have been a 76 points to 6 annihilation, inconceivable humiliation, inconceivable degradation. 1974 round 1, West 62, Balmain 5, with 14 tries, believe it or not. Then in round 2, Balmain then lost to Newtown 36 points to 4, and in round 3, lost to East 43 points to 6. So those 2 losses, you'd expect from a wooden spoon team, but even from a wooden spoon team, you did not expect 14 tries and a 62 points to 5 annihilation that would have been 76 points to 6, with 4-point tries. So then, obviously they lost rounds 4 to round 8, but not by as many points, obviously. Then, round the moment in the sun is the next 5 games. Rounds 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13, those 5 games, they actually had 2 wins, 2 draws and only lost the 1 game. So, obviously that momentary glimpse of improved form didn't last very long, but it was at least something. And even there, we got something bewildering. So, 1974 round 9, Balmain finally got their first competition point of the season after they had a 4-all draw with Norths. In round 10, finally their first win of the season when they'd beaten Parramatta 15 points to 5. In round 11, they slipped up and lost to Manly 27 points to 6. But in round 12, somehow, bewilderingly, they took their revenge and beat West. I kid you not. After West had annihilated them 62 points to 5 in round 1, in round 12, 1974, Balmain had beaten West 12 points to 7. Okay, they didn't beat them by much, but it might have made them feel that much better, a tiny bit better, about the fact that they were humiliated the way they were in round 1. Then even more bewilderingly, in round 13, get this, 1974 round 13, a 13-all draw. 1974 round 13, Balmain 13, drew with Newtown 13. Wow. Then, that momentary glimpse in form didn't last long, like I just said, and they only won 2 more games for the rest of the season. In round 17, they'd managed to beat Penrith 18 points to 5. Then, this is where it gets beyond bewildering. It gets beyond bewildering right now. With 2 games left in round 21, Balmain were in last place on 8 competition points, and Parramatta was second last on 10 competition points. Fortunately for Balmain's sake, they just happened to be playing Parramatta, and they did the right thing. They did the right thing and beat Parramatta 25 points to 7, a healthy 18-point margin in 1974 round 21. And what that meant was that after round 21, with just 1 regular season game left for both of them, it meant that they were obviously both on 10 competition points, and somehow, it also meant that both teams for and against was exactly minus 203, because Balmain happened to beat them by 18 points. That meant that their for and against was minus 203, and Parramatta's was also minus 203. So to finally decide the 1974 wooden spoon boiled right down to the very last game, and where Parramatta had to play Norths, and Norths were a respectable mid-table team who finished 6 out of the 12 teams in 1974, and Balmain had to play Manly, and Manly who finished second in 1974. So both Balmain and Parramatta were always going to realistically lose their respective games. It boiled down to which of the two could lose their game by the smaller margin, and that would be the team that avoided the spoon. And Parramatta lost to Norths 16 points to 2 in 1974 round 22, so they had a 14-point losing margin. Unfortunately for Balmain, they went down to Manly 30 points to 7, a 23-point losing margin. So after all those bewildering twists and turns, baffling maze of events happening all the way through Balmain's 1974 wooden spoon, it came down to the very last round, believe it or not. Yeah, and it came down to the fact that Parramatta lost their last game by 14 points, and Balmain lost by 9 more points, 23 competition points. And like I just said, Balmain picked up the 1974 wooden spoon by a meagre 9 for and against points. Equal competition points, 10 each, but 9 meagre for and against points is what they got the wooden spoon by. Wow. That's easily my favourite wooden spoon so far, and if you're still watching to the very end, as requested, thank you so much for not missing any bewildering rugby league information, as it is sometimes. You can scroll through this playlist of wooden spoon videos, and you'll see that in the late 1940s and early 1950s, when East and North and Parramatta were getting the wooden spoon back then, some of those wooden spoons took to the last 1 or 2 rounds to decide it, but never, ever did we have the 2 teams down the bottom of the ladder, both on the same competition and for and against points going into the last game. That's never happened before, and there is still a marathon distance left. I still have got 50 more wooden spoon videos to do, 1974 all the way up to 2024. There is still so many more, but I think I'm going to be hard-pressed to find a more bewildering one than this one. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching all the way through to the very end, and thank you so much for ongoing, continued, brutal, pulverising, malevolent support. As per always, you can head over to my second channel, and that's called D47's Dad Jokes, where there's a ton of frivolous, stupid dad joke shorts. And right here on the long-form footy side of the channel, it's serious business at all times, AM, PM, pop off on the grind, in this motherfucker for real all day. Thank you so much for watching. D47, toodaloo.